It is one of the most quietly debated lines in all of Star Wars, a single sentence that, for years, has launched 1,000 theories and added a chilling weight to a simple scene. In his humble hut on Tatooine, the wise Jedi Master, Obi-Wan Kenobi, looks upon a familiar blue and white astromech and delivers a statement that seems to contradict everything we know. "I don't seem to remember ever owning a droid." But how could this be? How could he not remember R2-D2, the heroic droid who was a constant presence through the Clone Wars, the loyal companion to his dearest friend Anakin Skywalker? Was this merely a catastrophic script error? A plot hole from a time before the history of the Republic was fully written? Or is there a deeper layer to this moment? A story of masterful Jedi deception, a carefully chosen truth, designed to protect a young farm boy from a past that could shatter his future. Today, we will take a look at one of Star Wars' most fascinating contradictions. To truly understand the weight of this scene, we must look beyond the simple out-of-universe explanation. The in-universe answer is far more complex, and it tells us a great deal about the mind of Obi-Wan Kenobi. When George Lucas created A New Hope in 1977, there was no grand, tragic story of Anakin Skywalker and no established history between Obi-Wan and R2-D2. At the time, the line made perfect sense, because in that version of the story, he was simply an old hermit encountering a droid for the first time. But with the arrival of the prequel trilogy, that one line of dialogue became a glaring contradiction. We saw Obi-Wan and R2-D2 serve together, from missions in Attack of the Clones to the Battle of Coruscant in Revenge of the Sith. For many, the story ends there. It was a mistake of retroactive continuity, plain and simple. But to leave it there is to miss the genius of what this moment truly became. The lore of Star Wars has a powerful way of transforming these production realities into profound moments of character. The truth is, Obi-Wan Kenobi didn't forget R2-D2. He was lying, and he had a very good reason. Now, what exactly does this tell us? Well, to understand Obi-Wan's deception, it actually informs his character very much so. This is the Jedi Master who famously told Luke that Darth Vader betrayed and murdered his father. When confronted years later, Obi-Wan defends this by stating it was true, from a certain point of view. This isn't just an excuse, it is fundamental to his philosophy. For Obi-Wan, truth can be a tool, shaped to serve a greater purpose. His entire life on Tatooine is a carefully constructed deception. He is not Old Ben, he is General Obi-Wan Kenobi. Hiding from an empire he is plotting to overthrow, watching over the secret son of its most feared enforcer. Deception is his armor. It is how he survived. So when he says, "I don't seem to remember ever owning a droid," he is deploying the exact same tactic. He is using a very specific technical truth to obscure a much larger, more dangerous one. And the key is in that carefully chosen word, owning. Think back. Did Obi-Wan ever truly own R2-D2? No. The droid belonged to the royal house of Naboo, serving Padme Amidala. He was then assigned to Anakin Skywalker. After the fall of the Republic, both R2 and 3PO were given to Bail Organa. So Obi-Wan's statement is in fact correct. He was never the legal owner of the astromech. It is a masterful piece of verbal misdirection designed to control the flow of a dangerous conversation. But why lie at all? Why not simply greet an old friend? To answer that, we have to look at the situation from Obi-Wan's perspective. For 19 years, his life has been dedicated to one sacred mission, to protect Luke Skywalker and prepare him for his destiny. The arrival of R2 is the catalyst he has been waiting for, but it is an incredibly delicate moment. Imagine if he had admitted his history with the droid. Luke's very next question would be, how do you know him? Answering that question would open a Pandora's box of catastrophic truths. Well, Luke, this droid belonged to your father, Anakin Skywalker, who I told you was a navigator on a spice freighter. But he was actually the greatest Jedi of his time. And this droid, R2, watched as your father turned to the dark side, helped the Emperor destroy the Jedi Order, and is now the man known as Darth Vader. He was also there when your mother died, and he knows that the princess who sent this message is your long-lost twin sister. His mission would be over. The burden would be too great for a naive farm boy to bear. Obi-Wan's options, as he saw them, were brutally simple. He had to control the narrative. His goal was to give Luke the lightsaber, plant the seed of his heritage, and convince him to go to Alderaan. Acknowledging R2 would have derailed everything. The lie was a necessary act of protection, and yet, even as he feigns ignorance, the truth of their shared past subtly reveals itself. As Luke struggles to play Leia's full message, Obi-Wan steps in. He doesn't fumble with the controls. With a knowing touch, he coaxes the message out, remarking, "I think I found it." It's a small moment, but it implies a deep, pre-existing familiarity with the droid's quirks. Later, a quiet and powerful piece of lore adds a chilling weight to their reunion. The canon novelization, The Princess, the Scoundrel, and the Farm Boy, describes a scene aboard the Millennium Falcon. After Obi-Wan feels the destruction of Alderaan, R2-D2 quietly rolls to his side in a moment of silent comfort. The book describes Obi-Wan placing a hand on the droid's head, whispering so softly that others could barely hear. "It's good to fly with you again, my old friend." This hidden moment confirms everything. The bond was never broken. Then there is the moment on the Death Star. As they move to disable the tractor beam, Obi-Wan plugs R2 into an Imperial terminal and states that the droid should be able to interpret the entire Imperial network. For any random astromech, this would be a wild and dangerous assumption. But for the R2-D2 that Obi-Wan knew, the hero of the Clone Wars, who had performed countless such miracles, it was not an assumption at all. It was a statement of fact, born from years of shared experience. So what began as a simple continuity error from the 1970s was transformed into a profound element of Obi-Wan's character. It beautifully harkens back to the immense wisdom, caution, and emotional burden he carried for 2 decades. He did not forget R2-D2. He respected him as a fellow soldier and a friend, one whose very presence was a reminder of both his greatest triumphs and his deepest tragedies. He hid their connection, not out of forgetfulness, but out of a desperate, paternal need to protect the future of the galaxy itself. A lovely culmination to the story of the old hermit on Tatooine. But anyway, my friends, what are your thoughts on this? Do you see it as a simple script mistake that we have all overanalyzed? Or do you agree that this was a brilliant act of Jedi deception woven into the very fabric of the saga? As always, thank you for joining me in this holocron. May the Force be with you, and I hope to see you in our next session.